Senator Batters, followed by Senator McCoy.
Very recently, in the last several months, this committee hired 2 out of the 3 permanent positions in this current 3-person triumvirate structure, and that was our Chief Corporate Services Officer and our Law Clerk. So what the Trudeau government wants to do with this maneuver is to make those 2 senior executives in Senate administration, who are currently peers in a 3-person structure with the clerk, it would make those 2 recent executive hires subordinate to that clerk position. And I will point out that these 2 recently hired senior executives of the Senate are women. And I find it surprising that the Trudeau government, which likes to pride itself on gender equity, would seek to make 2 recently hired senior executives hired as peers to a Privy Council appointed position, seek to make those women subordinate to somebody appointed by the Prime Minister. And given that both of those women were hired as peers in a 3-person structure, implementing this change would leave the Senate, I believe, at risk for constructive dismissal lawsuits. And contrary to what is in the briefing note, this is not currently a flat structure. Prior to this 3-person structure being implemented, we did have a flat structure where we had 14 directors who reported to a clerk. Now, it's not flat in the least. In fact, it's just there's only 1 tier being added, a very top tier. So the major change would leave, I think, the undeniable impression that instead of an independent Senate, we would have a dependent Senate on the Prime Minister's office. Also, with this change, the Senate administrative rules need to be changed. And we put so much work into that document over the last couple of years. So the need to change SARS, to me, shows that this 3-person structure was not meant to be temporary. And please recall that changes to SARS have to be approved by this committee and by the Senate as a whole. And in response to Senator Mitchell's comment, consultation on this particular position was already requested by Senate leadership groups last summer and refused. And I think what's happening here really is the government is seeking, instead of having the buck stop with one position, they're seeking to have the buck stop with the PMO. Thank you.
Followed by Senator Tanis.